So this is the brand new Infinix Zero 8, an upgrade from the Infinix Zero 6. Now this is one of those devices from Infinix where a few things have been gotten right. Now some of the things you guys have been crying about from previous Infinix devices, I guess they're beginning to listen. Somebody's finally doing his job right at Infinix. Congratulations. First of all, the outstanding thing about this device is the design. It has this very weird looking camera bump at the back, which thankfully is not as bulky as that on the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. It's as thin as my knife here, as you can see, which is pretty cool. I like it. And of course, the device is made in plastic, or is still made in plastic. Plastic back, plastic frame, which is not bad. I mean, like, plastic is a weapon of choice for devices of this caliber. Also, some other things you guys have been crying about is the lack of a USB-C on Infinix devices. We actually expected a USB-C on the Infinix Note 7. It ended up disappointing everybody. But the Infinix Zero 8 finally comes with a USB-C. And I hope they actually maintain this standard, because in their usual fashion, the next Infinix Zero device might come with a regular USB-A. So I won't be surprised if I see that. But for now, this is actually a good upgrade. Well done, guys. So another thing they've added here is a wide angle lens in front. So which means you and your friends can actually take a selfie now, and everybody will be included in the picture, nobody will be left out. Cool stuff. Then the one nobody saw coming was the fact that this phone was going to be coming with a 90Hz refresh rate, because devices of this caliber hardly come with a 90Hz refresh rate. So it's pretty cool that we are seeing it on this device. Now it's pretty smooth. It helps the device to perform better now, but even at that, there's still some like few milliseconds delay, which is not a deal breaker. It still functions better. I mean, if you've used previous Infinix devices and you now come to the Zero 8, the difference is just gigantic and enormous. So I like it. And I also like the fact that they give you the option to switch between 90Hz and 60Hz, which is going to help you save your battery. Is a higher refresh rate on an LCD panel better than an AMOLED panel with a 60Hz refresh rate? The answer is definitely no. I will definitely go for an AMOLED panel with even 30Hz refresh rate instead of a 90Hz refresh rate on an LCD panel. Reasons being, naturally AMOLED panels are more responsive than LCD, they are smoother and everything. Now at this point, I just feel Infinix and bloatwares have a blood covenant. I mean, the amount of bloatwares that come inside this device could actually form a village. This device is already a very good device, but I wish they could tone down the amount of bloatwares that come inside this thing. It would actually be better. Enough of all the talking, let's start the slaughter. So as usual, I use the razor. I start to create an incision by the side of the device, any part of the device I want, and I use my plastic card and start trying to find my way in. And I usually dip the plastic card inside the ethanol just to soften the adhesive that is holding that plastic back cover to the frame of the device. So a lot of you left comments on my Infinix Note 7 teardown video asking me why was I not using a heat gun to try to take off the back cover. Now the answer is simple. Plastic is plastic, and plastic always melts and expands. So if I nearly injured myself. Okay, so plastic definitely expands, and if I use heat or a heat gun in trying to open this device, fine, I can actually open it very well with a heat gun and everything. But from my experience as a technician, what I discovered was after you use heat to open the back cover or to take off the back cover, if you were going to couple this device back to use it or for a client, what you discover is that sometimes the plastic back cover will not be able to sit exactly in the same dimensions as the frame of the device. Why? Because heat has touched it, and that heat causes it to expand. So I just decide, or I try to just do it the old way or my way, by just using ethanol and try to open the device manually or take off the plastic cover manually without applying heat. So it took me about 5 minutes to take out this back cover. Reasons being, just like I said in the Infinix Note 7 teardown video, when you are opening a device that you haven't opened before, you just have to be careful. Make sure you don't go in too much with your plastic card or your knife or whatever you're using to take off the back cover, so you don't yank off any ribbon cables that might be lying in positions that you don't know about. But the next time I'm going to open this device, I'm going to do it in less than a minute or two. Why? Because I already know the positions of everything. After taking out the back cover, I saw the ribbon cables lying down on top of the battery, so thankfully I didn't cut them. There are 14 screws that are holding this back frame to the other half of the device, so let's take them off. After taking out the screws, I took out the SIM card tray. It's a dual SIM card tray that houses 2 SIM cards and a memory card. Then I just used my fingernails and separated that plastic frame from the other part of the device. It was even easier than I thought. Then that ribbon cable lying at the back there, just like on the Infinix Note 7, is actually for the fingerprint reader. So trying to take it off, I discovered that there was actually another plastic frame there that is holding those cameras together, and the ribbon cable is actually lying under that frame because it's also clipping it in place. So I had to take off that frame. There are 2 screws that are holding the camera plastic frame in place, so I had to also take them off. Apart from the screws, there are also adhesives here that are holding this frame to the board. So trying to remove that, I forced it, and the next thing I saw was the plastic frame flying like a loose cannon. Looking at this camera frame from the inside after taking it off from the board, it actually has the shape of a kite. I remember those days when I was growing up, I actually constructed kites like this with nylon bags and almost anything I could find, paper and all those things. I know some of you did it too, so I'm not alone. So removing that plastic frame from this board actually gives us a clearer look at the cameras where they are lying down. It shows us where the LED lights are lying, and also where that fingerprint reader is clipped on the board and where the selfie cameras are also lying down on the board. There are a lot of antenna lines on the plastic frame here, and these antenna lines actually help the device to get better signals. So even if you are in a remote place that the signal is not really good, these antenna lines that are on this frame will actually help boost the signal for you. So removing this fingerprint reader from this frame reveals that this is the same fingerprint reader that came inside the Infinix Note 7. It is the same thing, no difference. So I want to take off the board of this frame. I'll first of all peel off these tapes that are actually used to insulate these ribbon cables. So when I take them off, I carefully unclip all the ribbon cables here for the display, the battery and the charging port. There are 2 screws that are holding the board to the rest of the frame. So we take them off and then try to take off the board of the device. So this is what the board looks like with all the camera arrays and everything. And one thing I notice here is that the material used to design this board or to build this very board have actually increased in quality, better than the ones that I saw on the Zero 6. Here is that 48 megapixel front facing camera. Now I'm not really impressed with the quality of images that come out of this sensor. It's not really that impressive. I mean, it's not like it's not good, it's good, but compared to the competition that is in the market right now, I'm not really that satisfied. But for the front-facing wide-angle lens, I think I'm satisfied with the quality that it gives. So as for the main cameras, this right here is that main 64 megapixel Sony IMX sensor. Now, it doesn't have OIS, it has what is called EIS, Electronic Image Stabilization. So it's just a regular 64 megapixel lens. Just like the Tecno Camon 15 Premier, I am not satisfied with the quality of images that come out of this 64 megapixel sensor. To give you an idea, here is an image I took with the Redmi Note 9 Pro in the morning while going to work some weeks back. And then here is an image I took yesterday with the Infinix Zero 8 at the same place, the same time of the day in the morning while also going to work. Even though the images were not taken at the same time, but they were taken under very bright sunlight and bright weather conditions. So I'll just allow you guys be the judge for yourselves. Outside this wide angle lens right here, the images from the macro lens and the depth sensor have been so after removing the cameras and every other thing from the board, it gives you a clearer view of what the board looks like. Right here is the SIM card slot and the memory card slot. So this is where the SIM card and the memory card lies, so you see the LED lights there. And what you will notice here is that there's a lot of thermal paste around this board, and I will show you why in a second. So this particular foil right here is covered with a lot of thermal paste at the back, and if you look at inside, there is this material here like a foam that actually absorbs some sweat or some heat that comes out of this processor. Now right here is the MediaTek Helio G90T. That's that G90T processor that is the powerhouse and the brain box of this phone. So in case you've not seen what that G90T looks like, here you have it for the first time. Congratulations, you made it. The MediaTek Helio G90T is a gaming focused chipset, and from the records I've seen so far, or from my experience with it, it has been very good. But even the best processors still need a lot of cooling. That's why even on the frame of the device, you still see a copper heat pipe that is buried under the frame of the device. That also helps in cooling the device while you are gaming or doing any of those hard activities. And right here is that 4300 milliamp hour battery, which takes about 1 hour 10 minutes to charge with the new 33 watts charger that is included in the box of this device. Then right down here you get a single firing speaker. I wish this device actually came with stereo speakers, because the Infinix Note 7, that is the cheaper device, has stereo speakers, but this one, that is the more expensive device, has just a single firing speaker that is not sounding so good. So that's what you get though. So down here is the charging port, and for the first time this charging port looks a bit different from other Infinix devices, and that is because of the USB-C. The only thing you find on the carcass of this device is just the vibrator and nothing else. And right here you can see from inside how those two camera cutouts look like. It's just cutting through the display. And so folks, this wraps up our look at the brand new Infinix Zero 8. So thank you so much. Please don't forget to subscribe, alright? You can also click here to go and watch the Infinix Note 7 teardown video, or click this other one here to go and watch the Infinix S5 teardown video, alright? So I'll catch you again in the next one.